On June 1, 2025, the city of San Antonio, Texas, and the entertainment world were struck by tragedy when Jonathan Joss, the beloved actor and voice artist known for his role as John Redcorn in the iconic animated series King of the Hill, was fatally shot outside his home. The 59-year-old San Antonio native was killed in what authorities describe as the violent culmination of a years-long feud with his neighbor, Sigfredo Alvarez Sega. The incident has left fans, colleagues, and the local community in a state of shock and grief, while prompting urgent discussions about gun violence, conflict resolution, and the enduring legacy of a performer whose work touched millions. The shooting took place around 7:30 p.m. in a residential neighborhood on San Antonio's south side, a close-knit area known for its cultural vibrancy and historic charm. According to the San Antonio Police Department, officers responded to reports of gunfire and found Joss suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Despite immediate efforts by paramedics to save him, the actor was pronounced dead at the scene. Sigfredo Alvarez Sega, a 45-year-old resident of the same neighborhood, allegedly fled after the shooting but was apprehended within hours. He has been charged with first-degree murder and is currently detained at the Bexar County Jail with a bond set at $200,000. Investigators are still piecing together the events leading up to the tragedy, but early reports point to a long-standing personal dispute as the catalyst. The conflict between Joss and Alvarez Sega had reportedly been simmering for years, though specific details remain limited as the investigation continues. Police sources indicate that the feud may have stemmed from a combination of property disputes, noise complaints, or other personal grievances that escalated over time. Neighbors described occasional verbal altercations between the two men, with tensions flaring in the weeks leading up to the shooting. "You could tell there was bad blood, but it never seemed like it would turn deadly," said one resident who asked to remain anonymous. The absence of prior police intervention in the dispute has raised questions about whether community mediation or early conflict resolution could have prevented the fatal outcome. Authorities are now reviewing any past complaints or interactions that might shed light on the escalating tensions. For Joss, the tragedy capped a year marked by significant personal challenges. In January 2025, his San Antonio home was destroyed in a devastating fire, forcing him to relocate temporarily while he worked to rebuild his life. The fire, which made local headlines, drew an outpouring of support from the community, with fundraisers organized to help Joss recover. Friends and neighbors described him as a resilient figure who faced adversity with grace and determination. "Jonathan was the kind of person who kept going no matter what," said a close friend. "He was still creating, still connecting with people, even after losing so much." The fact that his life was cut short just months after this setback has amplified the sense of loss felt by those who knew him. Born on December 22, 1965, Jonathan Joss was a proud member of the Navajo Nation and a lifelong San Antonian whose contributions to entertainment left an indelible mark. His most iconic role was as John Redcorn in King of the Hill, the acclaimed animated series created by Mike Judge and Greg Daniels. Airing from 1997 to 2010, the show became a cultural phenomenon, celebrated for its sharp humor, relatable characters, and nuanced portrayal of suburban life in the fictional town of Arlen, Texas. Joss's portrayal of Redcorn, a Native American masseur and musician with a stoic demeanor and a complex romantic subplot involving Nancy Gribble, resonated deeply with audiences. The character's blend of humor, heart, and cultural significance made him a fan favorite, and Joss's distinctive voice brought an authenticity that elevated the role beyond caricature. Redcorn's character was groundbreaking for its time, offering a rare portrayal of a Native American figure in mainstream animation. Joss, who was deeply committed to authentic representation, worked closely with the show's writers to ensure Redcorn's storylines respected Native cultures. He often spoke publicly about the importance of portraying Native American characters with dignity, challenging stereotypes that had long plagued media depictions. "Jonathan brought a soul to John Redcorn that made him more than just a character," said Greg Daniels in a statement. "His insight and talent shaped the show in ways that will endure for generations." Fans of King of the Hill have echoed this sentiment, sharing clips of Redcorn's memorable moments, his soulful guitar performances, his dry humor, and his quiet strength, across social media platforms like X. Joss's performance, informed by his own heritage, added authenticity that resonated with native viewers and beyond. "He gave us a character we could see ourselves in," said a Navajo fan on X. "That's something I'll always carry with me." The loss of Joss has also reignited discussions about representation in media. At a time when Native American actors and stories are still underrepresented, Joss's work stood out as a beacon of progress. His advocacy extended beyond the screen as he mentored young Native performers and supported initiatives to promote diversity in Hollywood. "Jonathan was a trailblazer," said a colleague from the Native American Actors Guild. "He opened doors for so many of us, and his legacy will inspire future generations." In the wake of the tragedy, San Antonio is coming together to honor Joss's memory. A memorial fund is being established to support his family and local arts programs he championed, with details to be announced soon. The upcoming vigil will provide a space for fans and residents to share stories, reflect on his contributions, and find solace in community. Local theaters plan to screen King of the Hill episodes featuring John Redcorn as a tribute, while artists are creating murals and tributes in his honor. For those seeking updates on the case, San Antonio news outlets and official police statements will provide ongoing information. The investigation remains active, with authorities urging anyone with information to come forward. Meanwhile, Joss's fans and loved ones are left to celebrate a life cut short but filled with impact. As one fan wrote on X, "Jonathan Joss gave us John Redcorn's soulful guitar and quiet strength. His voice will echo in our hearts forever." Jonathan Joss leaves behind a legacy of artistry, advocacy, and resilience. His work as an actor, mentor, and community member ensured that Native American voices were heard and respected. As the world revisits King of the Hill and his other performances, Joss's contributions will continue to inspire, reminding us of the power of storytelling and the importance of compassion in our communities. Beyond his work on King of the Hill, Joss was a versatile performer whose career spanned television, film, and theater. He appeared as Ken Hotate, a sharp-witted tribal leader, in Parks and Recreation, delivering a performance that blended humor with cultural commentary. His role in Tulsa King, alongside Sylvester Stallone, showcased his ability to hold his own in dramatic settings, while film credits included The Magnificent Seven, 2016, Almost Heroes, 1998, and The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, 2003. Joss also lent his voice to video games and other animated projects, further demonstrating his range. In San Antonio, he was a pillar of the local theater community, mentoring young actors and advocating for diversity in the arts. "He was always giving back," said a local theater director. "Jonathan believed in lifting others up, especially those just starting out." The entertainment industry has been quick to honor Joss's legacy. Mike Judge, co-creator of King of the Hill, released a statement saying, "Jonathan's voice, warmth, and authenticity were the heart of John Redcorn. His loss is a blow to everyone who loved the show and knew him personally." Amy Poehler, who worked with Joss on Parks and Recreation, described him as a joy to work with, someone who brought light to every set he was on. On X, fans have flooded the platform with tributes, sharing quotes, gifs, and clips from King of the Hill. "Jonathan Joss made John Redcorn a legend," one user posted. "His voice was part of my childhood, and I'm heartbroken he's gone." Another wrote, "Rest in peace, Jonathan. Thank you for giving us a character who meant so much to so many." The San Antonio community, known for its rich cultural heritage and tight-knit neighborhoods, is grappling with the loss of one of its most cherished figures. Joss was a familiar presence at local events, from cultural festivals to charity drives, where he often spoke about his Navajo heritage and the importance of storytelling. His death has prompted an outpouring of grief, with residents leaving flowers, candles, and handwritten notes near the site of the shooting. A vigil is planned for later this week, organized by local artists and community leaders to celebrate Joss's life and contributions. "Jonathan was more than an actor," said a vigil organizer. "He was a son of San Antonio, someone who made us proud every day." The shooting has also sparked broader conversations about gun violence and conflict resolution in communities across the United States. San Antonio has seen a troubling rise in violent incidents in recent years, with 2024 data from the San Antonio Police Department reporting a 10% increase in homicides compared to the previous year. The Gun Violence Archive notes that over 15,000 people were killed in gun-related incidents nationwide in 2024, a statistic that underscores the urgency of addressing this epidemic. Joss's death, tied to a personal dispute that escalated to lethal violence, has renewed calls for community-based mediation programs and stricter gun control measures. "We cannot keep losing lives to preventable tragedies," said a San Antonio council member. "This is a wake-up call for our city and our country." Advocates argue that neighbor disputes, while common, can often be resolved through early intervention. Programs like community mediation centers, which exist in some U.S. cities, offer neutral spaces for residents to address conflicts before they escalate. In San Antonio, such resources are limited, and the absence of prior police reports about the Joss Alvarez-Sega feud suggests a missed opportunity for de-escalation. "If we had more tools to help people talk things out, we might not be here today," said a local activist. Authorities are now examining whether any prior complaints were filed and why they may not have been acted upon. As the investigation into the shooting continues, police are seeking additional witnesses and reviewing surveillance footage from the neighborhood. Alvarez-Sega's legal team has not yet issued a public statement, and a preliminary hearing is scheduled for next week. If convicted, he faces life in prison. The case has drawn attention to the complexities of neighbor disputes, particularly in tight-knit communities where personal tensions can fester unnoticed. Researchers note that such disputes often involve underlying issues like stress, financial pressures, or cultural misunderstandings, which can escalate without proper outlets for resolution. Joss's death has also prompted reflection on the broader cultural impact of King of the Hill. The show, which remains a staple in syndication and streaming platforms, is celebrated for its ability to tackle serious issues: class, family dynamics, and cultural identity through humor and heart. John Redcorn's character in particular offered a rare glimpse into Native American life in a mainstream context, addressing themes of marginalization and resilience.